Hello, eighth graders, and welcome to virtual math class. Today we are going to be talking about the triangle sum theorem. Yay! So the objective for today is students will be able to find missing angle measurements in triangles, which requires us to know what the triangle sum theorem is. Okay, so now we look at what the triangle sum theorem states. So the sum, it states that the sum of the three interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So if I have a triangle and we have angle A, angle B, and angle C. So these would be the interior angles of a triangle. It's the interior, think inside. So the inside angle measurements, need to add up to 180 degrees. So that means the angle A plus angle B plus angle C needs to be equal to 180 degrees. And that's what the triangle sum theorem states. So now we are asked to find the missing angle measurement. So I have two angle measurements that I know and one that I don't know. So I have one that's 63 degrees and one that's 85 degrees. And then I have this unknown angle down here. So remember that angle A plus angle B plus angle C needs to equal 180 degrees. So the two angle measurements that I know, I have 63 plus 85 plus some angle that I don't know, and that needs to equal 180 degrees. So now, if they need to equal 180 degrees, I need to add 63 and 85 together, and when I do that, I get 148. So 148 plus C equals 180. So now I can look at this as solving an equation. So I can subtract 148 from 180, and that cancels out because it's opposite, and I get that C equals, so I do 180 minus 148, and I get that C equals 32 degrees. So my missing angle measurement would be 32. If you don't necessarily know how to do the equation aspect, you can do 180 degrees minus 63 degrees minus 85 degrees, and that will still equal 32, which is our missing angle measurement. So you can do it either way. You can either do start with the 180 degrees and then subtract the angles that you know and then find it, or you can solve the equation like I shown. Either method will get you to the correct answer. Okay, so right now we have another example. So I have side angles that are, I have angle measurements of 25 and 90 degrees. And remember that my total needs to be 180 degrees. So now I can do either 180 degrees minus 90 degrees, which would be this angle here. And 180 minus 90 is 90 degrees. So now found out what these two angle measurements would be. So now I subtract 25 again, and now I have 90 minus 25, and what does that equal? 90 minus 25 equals 65. So my missing angle measurement is 65 degrees. Or you can solve it like the equation. Choose whichever method works best for you and stick with that method. Okay, so on this one, it tells me that two of the angles of a triangle measure 82 degrees and 8 degrees. What is the measure of the third angle? So a triangle, the interior angles needs to equal 180 degrees. So if I do 180 degrees minus 82 minus 8, that will equal my missing angle. So do 180 minus 82, and that gives us 98, and then we subtract 8, and whenever we do that, we get 90 degrees. So my missing angle measurement for my third angle would be 90 degrees. Okay, so this one is a similar question as the last one. So it says a right triangle. First of all, we need to know what a right triangle is. So a right triangle tells me that one of my angles is 90 degrees. So 90 degrees would have to be in my right triangle. So a right triangle is 90 degrees. So I have a right triangle has one angle that measures 90 degrees. What is the measure of the other acute angle? So if I have a right triangle that I know one angle measures 30 degrees, I know that another angle measures 90 degrees because it's a right triangle. So I have my 180 degrees minus my 90 degrees for it being a right triangle minus my 30 degrees because it tells me. And so if I do 180 minus 90, that gives me 90, and then 90 minus 30 would give me 60 degrees. So my other acute angle would be 60 degrees. Okay, so this one gets a little bit tricky. So it says one angle of an isosceles triangle measures 80 degrees. Which other angles could be in that isosceles triangle? So remember that an isosceles triangle has two angles with the same measurement. So two of my angles needs to be the same. So if two of my angles need to be the same, if I have one angle that's 80 degrees, I could have another that is also 80 degrees. And so 80 plus 80 would equal 160, right? And so if a triangle needs to have 180 degrees, that means that my other triangle would need to be 20 degrees, right? So I already just proved that one could be 80 and one could be 20. But now I need to think about what if the other angle measurement was the missing side length. So if I have 180 minus 80 degrees, that equals 100. So if I have 100 degrees that are left in my isosceles triangle, 100, if I divide that by 2, so 100 divided by 2, because two of the angles need to have the same measurement, that would equal 50. So my answers here could be 80, 50, or 20. Okay, so let's look at this one. So it says one angle of an isosceles triangle measures 50 degrees. Which other angles could be in that isosceles triangle? So remember that in an isosceles triangle, two of our angles needs to be the same measurement. So I automatically know that I could have another angle that is 50 degrees. So I have one that's 50 degrees. So if I have another one that's 50 degrees, 50 plus 50 gives me 100, and I need to have a total of 180. So 180 minus 100 tells me my remaining would be 80 degrees. So I could have an angle measurement that's 80 degrees also. So now I need to look at the other side. So if I do 180 minus 50, that gives me 130. So now if I take 130 and I divide that by 2, because two of my angles need to have the same measurement, that would equal 65 degrees. So I could have a triangle with the angle measurements 50, 50, and 80, or I could have a triangle with the measurements 50, 65, and 65. So my answers are 65, 50, and 80. And that concludes today's lesson. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me. You can email me, you can make a comment on the Google Classroom, whatever it takes. Please just let me know that you have a question.